This is a teddy bear that was given to me when I was born, and I've had it, his name is Kermie. I've thought about bringing him to Colombia with me, but I think it's better to just leave him here in my room in my parents' house. I'm here for... It's kind of creepy, actually. So I'm going to start talking. I don't know where exactly this video is going to end or what sort of path this video is going to take. I've actually been thinking about what I want to say for the last 3 hours, and I think it's better maybe for me to just say it now. So today is Saturday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. This, I think it was Monday or Tuesday that I got some news that my grandpa was dying. I was told he was going to make it through the weekend, so I booked a flight for to leave from Medellin, which is my home where I live right now. So it was a late night flight Thursday, which got in Friday morning, and my idea was to get in Friday morning, see my grandpa. I didn't know exactly what would happen, but I knew that I had to come home to, more than anything, to be here with my dad and be here with my family. So yesterday I got in very early. My sister picked me up from the airport. We came home. My mom always has like a big, delicious breakfast ready for me whenever I come home from Colombia. It's kind of like a thing that she does now, and that breakfast has evolved over time now that I don't eat any bread or carbs. She's so cute. Like, she used to always use turkey bacon, now she uses real bacon. She always used to make me a bunch of bread, and now instead she makes like guacamole, and she makes, she's adapted to make more, keto friendly foods. But anyway, so I had the breakfast, and so my dad got a text that my grandpa wasn't doing too well, and so we got in the car. See, this stuff, I'm still not quite sure how to share on this vlog, right? I think more than anything, my goal with the vlog is to share my authentic experience, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit, because there's a lot of difficulty with that, and like way more than even the implied difficulty of that. But anyway, long story short, I got in the car, and we left to go to the hospital, and a few minutes after we had left, he got a phone call that his father had died at 9:20 a.m. on Friday. Again, this is a vlog, and I don't know what the best way is to share this kind of stuff, but I think the best way is to talk about personal perspectives on death and maybe the evolution of death, and it's just some of the stuff that I experienced yesterday, because again, my goal is to create stuff that is ultimately relatable. I think in communicating just the overall experience of yesterday, and also how that experience for me, the theme, the idea of death, how that's kind of evolved for me over time, I hope will be relatable. And I don't know, when I was younger, I think the first time that someone close to me died, my grandma Bernice, right? She was the first. She actually wasn't my grandma. She was a neighbor that took care of me while my parents were working. And you're young, that's it. My parents told me that. I think, oh, that's a good thing. I don't think much about it. It just, okay, my grandma Bernice went to heaven. I'm not going to see her anymore. I don't quite understand what that means, but I'm gonna go, keep playing with my Legos, or whatever that is. And I think the relationship with death ultimately changes and evolves a lot. So yesterday, I found myself experiencing things that were interesting. One is I really saw the entire experience as a whole. It was a really beautiful day. I was very happy to, more than anything, I came home to be with my family, to show that I love them and support them. And so my dad got the call, and this is his father. I felt very fortunate to be in the car next to him, his son, when he was receiving this news. So I felt sad, of course, but I felt overruling emotion almost of, I'm really happy that I'm here next to my father. This was going to happen. I felt good about that. And then I see, my dad, he didn't cry. He knew this was coming. I could see, maybe he cried a little bit, but immediately, my dad he's always made sure that he is to show me strength. My dad has always been someone that everyone in my family, no matter what's going on inside of him, and I don't know what's going on inside of him, but he knows what's going on inside of him. And what I can say for sure is he's just always been he's made sure that we can always look to him for strength, and that's one of the great life lessons that he's taught me, right? So he gets the news that his father has passed away. So the first thing he's thinking about is, oh man, my grandmother, his mother, she's gonna be devastated. So we gotta figure out how do we break the news to her. My dad called her and told her the news. Then we went to her house, and You know, she lived in Brooklyn, New York, and you know, so we called her. She threw the keys out. We went upstairs, and she was okay. She had taken some medication. She knew that this was coming for a while, and she even said herself, like, she was still. It's gonna take a few days for this to, you know, hit her. So what ended up happening is my dad. I stayed there with my grandma while my dad went to go get everything ready. We're actually going to the funeral. I don't know how he got this done, but the funeral is going to be today, and we're going to leave to go to that in a little bit. I'm sitting with my grandma, and I don't want to make this a whole long, boring story. I just want to share kind of some of the things that I experienced in the hopes that maybe they're relatable on some sense, or beneficial in some sense. I don't know. My grandma, you know, we just talked. We talked for about 5 hours. What I noticed is, there were times where I wanted to cry, but I found myself just really wanting to be the same sort of beacon of strength that I see my dad as, and so I noticed that I was able to like channel that sadness almost immediately. And I talk a lot about channeling energy. I was able to channel that into strength. The thing about channeling is it's not like just, you know, I have rage, let me use it to channel it into something else. I think ultimately channeling, that's characterized by just a fundamental understanding of something. When I say that I channeled my sadness into strength, really what I'm saying is I had a fundamental understanding that if I am just a strong image for my grandmother right now, that's going to help her. And fundamentally understanding that is what allows me to channel that sadness into strength. Does that make sense? Anyway, so we talked for 5 hours, and you know, she told me a lot of stories about my grandfather. I wasn't very close with my grandfather. You know, my grandfather did a lot of things that were like just considered bad. I still don't know how to share this stuff, and I don't want to upset anyone in my family. Instead, what I want to say is that I noticed that my grandma, she's aware of the negative, but he also did a lot of positive. You know, her husband is now gone. You know, she's very focused on the positive. It makes me think, you know, maybe that's like roughly what humanity is, right? That we, you know, there's negative and there's positive, and we have to be aware of the negative. Ultimately, positive and negative, like, they are part of the same sphere. Like, one of them, they're part of the same thread. Positive does not exist if negative does not exist, just from a conceptual standpoint. And so humanity is just this thing that, like, it knows there's negative, it knows there's positive, and it has a tendency to just focus on the positive more. I think. I don't know. I thought it was beautiful that she was focusing on the positive aspect. She told me while he was alive, I heard a lot of negative things about him. But ultimately, those negative things, it's not... I think that we as humans see like good and evil as this thing that is like just external, and that there's good and there's evil. But like, I think that line, it runs straight through us. I don't know how to better explain that or put that into words right now, and I fear that doesn't make that much sense. It may make sense to some people, and this is another thing. This is actually more what I want to share right now, I think. With the videos that I'm doing, I think my main goal ultimately is that I want to authentically express myself, and especially with the vlog, but I want to do that in a way that's fun, right? That people enjoy. Because I think the human experience like should be fun. And when I say that, I don't have a lot of fun. I feel very happy. I feel very fulfilled. But the last even 2 months, like, I haven't gone to the movies. I don't know how to put words to this right now, so I'll just leave it at that. I think the human experience is supposed to be fun. You may not see me having a lot of fun, but I think I'm supposed to have more fun. I'm trying to figure that out, and I think that I can have fun just with what I'm doing right now. I don't know exactly how to do that yet. I feel fulfilled. I know that I'm on the right path. That's as best as I can explain that right now. So I'm gonna just say that, and that's that. So the other thing I'll share about yesterday is, so when we were, you know, my grandmother had to go, and we had to find a photo that we could bring of my grandpa to the funeral today. You know, the one that they always have at the entrance of the funeral. And so she's going through his things. We're looking through the things in her apartment, and I'm thinking to myself, I remember being here as a little kid. So I remember all the times that I went to my grandma's house, and she's lived in the same place since I can remember. And so I remember being younger and just it's funny how, you know, maybe 10 years ago I'd go to my grandma's house and I was just dying to get home so I could play video games or whatever. And now, like, I'm at her house, and we're going through her things, and I'm seeing all these things from the, you know, these memories, you know, from the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm feeling like such a profound connection to these things, a desire to understand these things better. We went up to this room that I don't think she's been to in years. And because we needed to get a suitcase because she's going to come stay with us for the next couple of days, and I'm looking through, there's all of these things, these old things that if I were younger, the 10-year ago version of me would take zero interest in. But the current version of me, I'm very hungry to understand my heritage. I'm like listening to my grandma tell me stories about my grandfather, my father, other family members. Man, I loved it. Really, I'm so hungry for more information about this stuff. And I'm originally from New York, which is where I'm right now. A big part of the reason I stayed in Medellin is because I wanted to better discover my Latin roots, and I didn't know what I would get when I came to Medellin. And then when I got to Medellin, it was first of all it was a completely different culture. It was a more family-based culture. The media has had less of an effect than it has in New York. In New York, I felt like my value was ultimately just determined based on the value of the material things that I possessed and how successful I was in my business. And I'm sure not everyone in New York feels that, but that was my experience that I'm now relating to you. In Medellin, I simply didn't feel that. There's more of a family culture. I'd go out, I'd have friends that would invite me to their house with their their parents would like make me food, and this is as a 33-year-old or however old I was, man. The culture was a little bit different, but more than anything, it was interesting. And I talk about this a lot in these videos. The culture of just a different place. Let's not even forget that it's even Medellin. Just a different place allowed me to better understand kind of the culture that I was from of New York. Living in New York, I wasn't consciously aware of the culture, and so going to a place that had different culture is what allowed me to understand or to better perceive this New York culture. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, and some things that I'm noticing. So in the last, I think it's been 7 days now, the YouTube channel has gone nuts, right? There are now like thousands and thousands of people subscribing every day, and I think what's most fascinating to me, and I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, but it's every single person has a different perception of me and what's happening in these videos. There are people that watch one video, like even right now, there are people that are watching this video that are thinking like, man, when is he going to shut the fuck up? And then there are other people that are watching this video that are thinking like, man, I hope he doesn't stop speaking because I'm really enjoying this. I'm really relating to it. There are people that, and it's like, and for every single person that watches this video, there will be a different perception of this video. And that's part of the human experience, is that, and I think where we start to get into trouble is where we start to think that other people have the same perceptions that we do, and other people see the same things that we do. You and I can look at the same exact thing and see two completely different things, and then there's so many other factors at play as well. And so it seems to me, based on the comments, that most of the people, a lot of the people are just relating to the content. They feel that they're relating to it, and again, what I try to do, I'm trying to authentically express myself, and I want to give just a really, I think an extremely interesting example of something, of perception. So I made a video, and it's about how to channel my negative emotions into positive emotions, a theme that I just talked about a couple minutes ago. And if you're trying to self-actualize, there's like roughly, we're all roughly on the same path, right? If you're trying to better understand yourself, and I think the majority of humanity is, on some level, there's this like big path, right? And so ultimately and on this end is, you have no idea who you are, and on this end is like full actualization. And these are both absolutes, and I don't know if either of these are even possible, but they're just kind of absolutes, right? And then we as humans, we all kind of exist in here, in this middle area. So as far as this path goes, I think that I may be 3 months ahead of some people. I may be 6 months ahead of some people. I may be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ahead of some people. I may be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years behind some people. I don't know. I think ultimately, again, there's this path. You have no idea who you are. You are completely self-actualized, which again are absolutes, and we all just kind of exist in here. And so when I share my stuff, what I try to do is I try to go through I also try to include the progression of my thought, and here's the interesting part. So one is, again, every single person that watches my video is just gonna perceive it differently, right? Some people may watch this video and they're only looking at this teddy bear. Some people may watch this video and they're just thinking about like peanut butter they want to eat, you know? So every single person that watches this video is going to have a different perception. Again, have no idea who you are, fully actualized. We're all in the middle. So when I make these videos, I try to, as best I can, give go through the kind of the phases of my thought. I always try to relate what I was thinking, you know, at an earlier point, you know, kind of a spectrum of what I was thinking at an earlier point to kind of where I'm at right now. But ultimately, I can't give you my experience, right? And so this emotions video, I talk about, first I start off talking about where I was when I was 13 years old and 15 years old and extremely depressed. Then I talk about a couple of years later, and so ultimately, and like everyone is at a different part of the spectrum. So there may be people, you know, at the very end of my video, I talk about just more like where I'm at right now, where it's just like I'm always channeling negative energy positively, and that is something that is now just like a part of me, something that just happens, right? But when I was 13, I didn't even know that I had the capacity for this. And so when I'm talking about my experiences, there are people that will only be able to relate to the stuff that I'm talking about when I was 13 years old, and I was filled with all this depression. There are many people that are watching this video that are just they're dominated by negativity, and they're just consumed by it. And so like when I try to explain to that person that I can channel negative energy positively, they simply may not be able to relate to that. I think most people, in fact, like can't relate to that. But my goal is not to like give you my experience. My goal is to maybe, if we're all on the same path, my goal is to first just be a source of, as best I can, authenticity. Because I think right now one of the biggest problems in the world is we have a lot of inauthenticity masquerading as authenticity. And I would caution and just be very clear, like right now, I'm not like wholly authentic because I don't fully know myself. I'm being as authentic as I possibly can be. I think I'm a lot more authentic than most people, and I hope that doesn't sound wrong, but I think what I'm saying is ultimately your capacity to be authentic is rooted in how well you know yourself. And that's why with Nelson Quest, when I talk about this, you know, this quest, this journey that I'm on, I'm trying to master various disciplines. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is better master myself. I will never fully master myself, but I think in the path of mastering myself, I will better know myself. And the better that I know myself, the more authentically that I can communicate myself. And I do think that is one of the problems that we have in this world right now is we live in a world where there is just a tremendous amount of inauthenticity masquerading as authenticity, and that makes it harder than ever to really like know. I just don't think that's good for the world. And so anyway, when I share a story, I think maybe my goal is just to kind of be like a car headlight, right? So if you're behind me in this path, and I think a lot of the people that are watching these videos like are behind me in this path, and I say that with humility. I can't give you my experience, but maybe I can help you to more clearly see what's coming, right? Like car headlights. Ultimately, you're in the car, and like maybe I could be a headlight, right? So maybe I talk about stuff that you already passed. So I'm like the rear headlight there, and maybe now you have a little bit better perspective on some of the stuff that's past, because you can relate to that on some level. You can better contextualize your past. And then as far as the stuff that's coming, again, I can kind of, if we're on similar paths, I'm authentically communicating my path. Maybe you can just use the stuff that I'm saying to, again, better contextualize your path, like that it can be somewhat of a light that can make things that are coming for you, things that you're working towards, a little bit more clear. Over the last bunch of days, all this stuff has happened so fast, and I know it's gonna continue at roughly this pace, maybe at a slightly exponential pace. Like I will get to 100,000 subscribers, and it's not. I don't say that with ego. I say that because I've just looked at the channel. Like I understand that the numbers of everything. I understand the effect of everything. Like I will get, unless something happens to me or something catastrophic happens to the channel, like it will get to 100,000 quickly. And so I need to learn this stuff quickly, and I just want to make it really clear that, guys, I'm doing my best, but I'm a flawed human. I am equal to you, and I'm doing my best to authentically express myself, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I am now conscious of things that I didn't even, there's a whole question now of like, how do I show, especially in the US, there's a huge dichotomy between people that have things and people that don't have things. And more often than not, people that don't have things have a very negative perception of anything with a high material value. So I made a video where I'm talking about consumerism, and I'm there, and I have a very expensive computer. I have 3 expensive computers, and I know myself that I understand kind of the infrastructure aspect of everything. Like I need, if I'm trying to grow my business, like I need a computer that is reliable, that is fast. When I was first starting my business, I had a cheap computer. I couldn't afford anything else, and ultimately I need to continue to build infrastructure to get higher, and I need to continue to build infrastructure. And so anything that I have, and so I don't want to spend too long on this point, but basically, there are people that will see me in a video. Again, just perception. There are people that will see me in a video with an expensive computer, and that's all they see. And then there's other people that don't see that, and so I'm trying to figure out how do I work gracefully, knowing that everyone has these perceptions, and a lot of the times these perceptions are just ultimately reflections of our interior, right? And by the way, the person that only sees the expensive computer, like, just being really honest, I think even a few months ago, if I saw myself in a video with a computer on a treadmill, like, if I saw myself, I would immediately think, like, look at this fucking young, egotistical guy with his. I may think that. Look at this guy with his, like, expensive computer, and he's got, like, a staged scene. And these aren't my thoughts when I do these things. But if I were to perceive these things not myself, me as a person, that may be how I would perceive myself. And also I think, just, I'm from the West. I'm very very skeptical. Like, I've seen so many like Tai Lopez ads, right? That when I see someone on the screen, kind of, especially like a young person, I'm probably even more prejudiced against young people, like myself. If I see someone on the screen with an expensive computer talking to me about something, it almost doesn't matter what they're talking about. My initial thought is, like, I'm looking for, like, how is this guy ultimately being inauthentic? Like, that's me as a person. Like, how is this person, what's their goal? What are they trying to sell me? Like, I say a lot of times, I think with Nelson Quest, it's very important. I have nothing to sell, and I think that's actually just a critical part of this whole thing, because and the truth is that I don't fully trust myself if Nelson Quest is making money. I don't fully know that the things that I believe, my reality, may not shift if all of a sudden money is a factor. I know that money means nothing to me in and of itself, but money is also the things that it enables. I wouldn't have been able to come here and be with my family if I didn't have money. I wouldn't be able to build my infrastructure if I didn't have money. This Nelson Quest stuff, I'm paying for ads. I can't pay for those ads if I don't have money. Like, money in and of itself, just the material value of money is nothing, but what money enables is important. And I still don't know how to gracefully kind of communicate that, right? How to, like, not be a slave to the perceived fulfillment of the material value of things that money can buy. I don't know how to communicate that gracefully yet. And so ultimately, there are people that are watching this video right now that just, think negative things. And one of the big revelations of this content for me was, I can't believe, I thought I was going to get so many negative comments. I thought I was going to get at least 20%. And the percentage of negative comments is like 1%. Like, literally for every 100 messages I get maybe one negative comment. And even the negative comments they're not even, like, well thought out. It was just clear that it was just someone came and just saw me for a couple of seconds, and so that's mind blowing for me. I can't believe that there are so many people in the world that are actually, like, way more positive than I am. Like, positivity is not one of my strengths, and it never has been. I'm becoming more of a positive guy right now, thanks to the whole comments thing. Is just it's completely transforming my perceptions, how I perceive the world. I didn't realize, I mentioned this, but I had lost my faith in humanity, and I had no idea I had lost my faith in humanity until I started reading the comments and reading all the positivity and realizing, there's negative and there's positive. I think I'm gonna stay conscious of the negative, but now I'm realizing, thanks to you guys, thanks to stuff that I'm seeing, that I need to focus more on the positive, and if I want to create positive, I need to be positive. It's not, if I want to make the world more positive, if I want to positively affect change, again, everything, ultimately, anyone that says I'm trying to change the world, I think what they're trying to say is I'm trying to change myself. I think that's what they're trying to say. When I look at my actions, that's definitely what I'm saying. That's definitely how I feel. That's why I'm trying to, in mastering myself, I feel my capacity to affect the outside is greater, and that's why I'm trying to master myself. And then, again, perception. There are people that watch this and they think, this is all about me. I'm trying to make this all about me, and I'm trying my best to. You guys don't see everything. You don't. There's no way. How can you see everything that I see? I can't see everything that you see. There's nothing, unless I'm literally inside of you, connected 100% to your consciousness. I will never fully understand you. I will never fully understand you, and I will definitely never understand you to the extent that you understand you. And the extent that you understand you is limited by so many things. I have to get ready for a funeral. I'm gonna see a lot of family members, and I'm really enjoying the beauty of all of this now. Whereas I think maybe a few years ago I would just be sad. Right now I'm still sad, but there's just so much beauty and seeing family come together, and I mean, just a lot of things that I know this video is so long already. The last thing I want to mention about perception and the ability to authentically communicate, I want to just give an example quick. So this is a painting that I bought about a year and a half after I started my business. So the first year and a half, I was basically, I was broke. It was one of the worst years of my life. And then, so I bought this painting a year and a half. I went to an estate sale with my father. This painting was for sale. It was for sale for $800. I think I had maybe about $4,000 in my bank account. So this painting represented at the time, maybe 25% of my net worth. And so when I bought this painting thinking I'm making an investment, and that's it. And what's the worst case? I'm making an investment. I want to buy a piece of art. I really like this piece of art. I feel like it communicates to me on some level, and and this painting is probably going to be worth more in the future, so it's a smart investment. These are the things that I was thinking a few years ago when I bought this painting. If I made a YouTube video talking about this painting, those are the things that I would communicate. If I was being authentic, that's what I would say, right? But now I'm 33 years old, and I look at this painting and I think, why did I really buy this painting? Why did I really buy this painting? Was it really about an investment? Was it really about buying something that would increase in value? No. Now I'm 33 years old. I look at this painting, and the entire reason that I bought it is because I just like the way that her tit looks, and I completely justified buying it on a completely different basis. And if at the time I was making a video about this, I was being authentic, I would be talking about, again, making an investment. But now here I am, all these years later, and I know for a fact that the reason I bought this painting was because I like that tit. So that's why when I say I'm trying to be as authentic as I can, I mean, just look at that example. I can express myself authentically about something that isn't authentic. So I'm still trying to figure that out. So anyway, we're gonna end this video here. This is a long video of me just talking a lot, but I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys benefit from it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. If you want to leave a comment, I love your comments. And by the way, guys, comments, I can't believe how many people are responding or commenting on these videos. And I'm doing my best, but I'm doing my best, but honestly, I have a limited amount of energy. I have Nelson Quest. This whole thing is it's a side project. I have a business that I spend a lot of time in. I have these. I have my salsa. I have. Basically, with the amount of comments that are coming in, and for me to really respond, and if I responded to your comments, you'd probably notice that I'm not simply saying, I mean, especially people that ask me really long questions, sometimes I spend over an hour responding to a single comment. Sometimes I spend an entire day just thinking about how I'm going to respond. I don't just sit there and focus the entire day, but the comment is constantly returning to my head, and I'm thinking about it, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm doing my best with all of this. I'm trying to respond to every comment, and especially the ones that are like really well thought out and well. I'm trying to take my time and really, and I, by the way, I love that because I'm learning so much more about myself and just responding to your comments, and you guys are ultimately doing me just as much a favor as like I hope that I'm doing for you, and taking the time to really like respond as best I can. So I have a funeral to get to. I'm gonna go to the gym. We may actually even show more footage here. I'm gonna bring my camera, but again, I think it's more so to just take pictures of my family and just remember kind of the more positive aspects of today, which are the ones that I want to remember more. So that's it. See you guys in the next video. Tomato soup?
Tomato barley she has.
No, chicken
barley. Oh, sorry.
It's nothing like that. Oh my God, what'd you do?
I'm so dumb.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's trying to show it to the...
No, don't use that, because that's not going to soak it up.
I understand.
There wasn't dumb. You just didn't realize how much juice. Stop laughing, Nelson. Listen to Nelson, that evil laugh. You hear that? And it was, I think, like... It was 4 strips of it. I was so embarrassed.
Try to get to the airport a couple hours early. In my experience, missing an airplane is not worth saving like 10 minutes of extra bedtime. So I'm at the airport. I'm gonna get in around midday today. I'm hoping to be able to do a salsa lesson. I'm hoping to get to the gym. I'm hoping to be able to work. We're gonna see how much I sleep on the plane, because that's pretty much how much sleep I got on the plane and how much energy that I'm actually no, ignore that. Yesterday I just hung with family. I do kind of wish that I had recorded maybe a little bit more with the family, but I don't know how to quite like present my family in this vlog yet. I don't know. Also, I just haven't seen my family in a long time. I got to see a lot of extended family, which I really haven't seen in a long time, and so I really just wanted to focus on that. I was thinking about bringing this camera to the funeral and to the restaurant afterwards, just to take photos of the family and everything else, because it is a really high quality camera, but I decided to just leave it because it's big and bulky, and I needed to be kind of mobile. You know, my dad needed me. Anyway, we're at the airport now. It's a 5.5 hour direct flight from New York to Medellin. I'm gonna do some work for a little bit on my computer while I still have Wi-Fi. Maybe I'll try to download something off of Netflix that I can watch on the plane. Try to relax a little bit. I really enjoy airplane time, because it's just another, especially airplanes that don't have Wi-Fi, because it's just you're just in this, you know, container for a large amount of hours, and so it's a great opportunity to do things like write, read a book. I've fantasized about doing a round trip flight to China where I just write the whole time. And you know, it's pretty cool because you're just sitting in a seat. They bring you food. The only issue with that is I have my knees, my legs. I have this like blood circulation issue. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I think after years of sitting at a desk, you know, working, if I'm stationary for too long, I start to have like tremendous pain in my legs. Anyway, I'm gonna pack this camera up. I'm gonna do some work. Maybe you'll see a time lapse of me working for a little bit, and I'll see you guys back in, well, maybe I'll see you guys in the airplane. I don't know. But I think I'll just see you guys back in Medellin. So, ciao. Diego. Oh, qué sorpresa.
Oh, bienvenido.
Oh, Luz, no te he visto hace mucho tiempo.
¿Cómo estás?
Ay, qué sobreactuado. No, pero I really just got here like a second ago. The best way to get back to life is to just very, very quickly get back to life. So I'm back from New York. Myra is back from the US and is also waiting on my couch because it's time to salsa. Fuck, I literally have not slept. And all I ate were like 2 Quest bars and just a bunch of almonds.